normalize complex conversations around chronic mental disorders. That's it. The reason for making my process and my journey public is to push the needle forward by even a millimeter on pertinent discussions that need to happen regarding chronic mental disorders, because I think there is still huge public misconception around what that looks like, around what that is, around the effects it has on people, and I think that's what my page is, and only being able to use my story as the conduit simply because it's mine, and I can't use any, and I don't know, I wouldn't know how to use anybody else's. So I chose to use mine at the detrimental risk of it being ridiculed, mocked, maligned, attacked, But that's okay. I guess I understand every single sort of put backlash and support that comes from doing so. I don't care about either. I just care about having the conversation, making sure that the conversation is had. That's what I care about. So those are the only two reasons why my page exists. If any of those two reasons when necessary, I wouldn't have a page, and I wouldn't be doing this publicly.
Understood. Again, that gives so much clarity on the point, because all the optics, if you will, can look at it in two ways. Okay, or a few ways actually. Two ways that you just explained, which is why I wanted to clear the air and understand where you're coming from, because it doesn't matter what I think, what other people think, because only you are having that experience. And that's why I wanted to hear from you and hopefully share this story and doesn't get censored because of certain words that we have to use. Because I do think this conversation is important, because you're not alone. Even though I feel like I can't relate to what's going on in your head, I can never understand or truly feel what you're feeling. All I can do is have this conversation, and to parlay with what your explanation is. Some people may look at it, and even off the bat, to me, be honest, it's like, okay, why is this guy just sharing this? Because it's just promoting what he's trying to do, or is it just his personal experience, what you're explaining, and you're sharing it because there's millions of other people maybe feeling the exact same thing. But even within those people, that I feel like you're not alone, but you could feel like you're so alone because it's your personal experience. So the power of sharing your story can hopefully help other people in a sense that I may be thinking the same thing, but I don't have the right word for it. I don't want to say dangerous, because my personal opinion is, if someone has to make a decision like this, that's your decision. And I think it's your body, it's your life. You can do whatever you want, though my compassionate side would hope that someone wouldn't make this decision. But the fact is, these options as assisted euthanasia exists. So bringing awareness to it can be, okay, is this person promoting it for other people to make the same decision?
Yeah, but I really want to drive a point home, which is super critical. Assisted euthanasia is preventative by nature because it requires evaluations. It is the 29th of January, I believe, and over 60,000 people have violently killed themselves. I find it very confusing sometimes, and I mean, maybe it's human nature, maybe it's vibes, but I find it very confusing how people completely ignore the fact that over 60,000 people have violently offed themselves, this year, and that somebody who's doing it transparently and wants to do it non-violently, giving their family and friends closure, is the one being maligned. And I think maybe the idea is that once somebody has done it, it's like, there's more public mercy in retrospect because it has already happened. But I think that the reason why I'm harpooning on the 60,000 number and that statistic is because even though it is small relative to the 8 billion of us, it is still quite alarming, objectively, and I think that needs to be sort of like addressed.
And normalizing this topic by opening up your story, having helped other people already.
I have gotten hundreds of messages of people who have said that, my transparency has transformed their perspective on it, has given them more empathy for a relative, has allowed them to also seek help themselves, has made them want to cling to life more because they see me at last suppers with different people and living my life in a very open and honest way. So I've been inundated with so many positive messages about people who this truth of mine has been liberating, and that that beyond goosebumps and sensations, that does make me feel like a very warm feeling that at least in my pain, I'm allowing people or giving people permission to be more of who they are. And that's just that's what you want as a human being, existing and learning and growing in life,
And what about you? Has this process of, sharing your memoir, if you will, your own personal story and helping others, has that ratified your decision to choose this path?
I mean, I think that I am humbled to the chance that I will learn more about myself through this process. I think at the same time as well, I come to realize that, this wasn't supposed to go this way, right? I was supposed to, when I asked people to invite me to dinner, I really thought I would be bullied and maligned, and that like it would be a brain fart of nothingness, and people would just ignore my genuine desire to connect this way. Because obviously, starting the Last Supper project was based on the Harvard study of adult development from 1938, which showed that it wasn't wealth, it wasn't health, but it was in fact human relationships and connection that fostered happiness, or a benchmark for happiness. And I think for me, that's what this has come to. It's been me being surprised by the over 2,500 people who have invited me to break bread with them. And to having my Calendly filled up to August 2025 when it was made available to, that has opened my eyes to a lot of things. I mean, it doesn't change my pain, doesn't change the struggle I still ubiquitously live with when it comes to like my debilitating bipolar disorder and that chronic affliction. But it does give me some sense of curiosity and, dare I say it, hope about humanity. It doesn't have to be about my life. I've also loved this opportunity to like decenter myself. There was this neurological, I think it's a term called Sonder, and which is sort of like the epiphany or the realization that everyone's life, each bystander's life is equally as complex and as nuanced as yours is. And I love entering people's lives as they invite me, and to decenter myself and see that I am also a part of their day as much as they're a part of mine. And it's been a beautiful experience, sort of like, bear witness to that, in real time.
So, yeah, you just kind of gave me the chills, specifically using the word Sonder, because I think I made some posts, not even thinking about it. I think about things quite often, as everyone does, but sometimes I put it out there, and I apparently defined the word Sonder without knowing what the word Sonder was. Someone messaged me, was like, "Oh, you're sondering." I'm like, "What the hell is sondering?" And then I Googled it, and I was like, "Oh, I'm sondering." And then it does put you in the shoes of other people. And I think that is such an important thing. And you may never truly, you're not going to feel what someone else is feeling. Some people may be empathetic, but it still puts you in a place of a perspective shift to at least understand in a compassionate way, and it will mitigate any negative.
Exactly. It's the acknowledgement that,
Yes.
that as your life is filled with convolution and strain and joy and pain, somebody else's life in equal convolution is also occurring. And that is a very humbling thing to sort of like live. And that's what the Last Supper project has taught me even more.
Yeah, sometimes I feel like, again, I wouldn't know, you could tell me, but I feel like that sometimes that acknowledgement is all people need.
Exactly. But also to know that the acknowledgement is more for yourself than it is for other people. Because once you acknowledge that within yourself, it informs the way you treat other people.